Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Dev Diary, where today we're doing something pretty cool. So before things get so cool that you'll need a jacket, remember that if you enjoyed today's video that you leave a like, and if you're new to the channel, be sure to also subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss future videos. Now, if you have been following the channel for the past month or so, I have been on quite a journey. The quick version was there was this project planned, but the project ran into some unexpected technical difficulties. And so I'm in the process of learning how to make it possible, or at least learn more about gamemaker's capabilities in the process. Which brings us to today's project. So for starters, we're using our previous Kenny asset project as a base for this experiment. If you'd like a more in-depth look into what this project was about, a link to that Dev Diary video can be found in the description, because today's focus is less about the game, or really the gameplay, and more about the visuals, which should be, thanks to the magic of editing, a little more obvious right now. And if you can't see it, take a look at the edges of the screen. They're blurry. Well, about as blurry as you can get with lower resolution pixel art. Our player now dons some pretty cool specs, if I don't say so myself, and while they do make our hero look dashing while fighting the mobs of enemies, should one of said mob touch the player, those glasses go flying, which not only limits the player's visual circumference, but also forces the player to locate and pick up their glasses in order for their vision to return to normal. And now while we're talking gameplay changes, it should be noted that the player's accuracy will drop when not wearing their glasses, making it almost impossible to properly use weapons without being able to see. Now, this vision effect was the main focus of today's experiment, basically figuring out how to make it a reality. I'm not going to go into the technical details, mostly because it'd be like a nightmare to try and spell out the process, but for the sake of this project, a surface had to be created that would encompass everything that had to be drawn, including even the tile maps. Then, much like the Ghost Hunter project that we worked on back in October, we used a surface along with a mask and blur shader to achieve the effect. Basically, there's a normal version of the game, a blurred version layered on top of it, and a hole punched out to create the final vision effect. This is mostly an evolution of something that I've been doing for at least a year now, which is manually controlling how everything is drawn on the screen. This allows for custom draw orders, which make things like depth sorting easier, and now as I'm learning, using it with shaders is also showing a lot of potential for future visual ambitions. But make no mistake, this is bad form, and was mostly due to having to adapt the concept to code that wasn't meant for it. But even with this, the game can look way different with just a few tweaks. And while we marvel at this version of Kenny's assets taken to new levels of weird, a quick reminder that if you enjoy these videos, supporting me on Patreon is the best way to help me keep making them. Doing so can get you access to exclusive content and downloads, and even early access to the weekly Dev Diary videos before they're released on YouTube. Now, the current system isn't perfect, far from it actually, which means that there's still a ton of work to be done, and so expect future projects that utilize these new concepts going forward. Now, we got like no idea what the limits currently are, but I thought this was, cool enough to showcase, because I absolutely know that it's capable of so much more. And we will definitely be covering more as this journey continues. But those projects aren't quite ready yet, so in the meantime, what did you think? Would you play a game where your vision could become like so impaired? What other types of games could we make with this concept? Be sure to leave any and all thoughts in the comments. And with that said, brings us to the end of today's Dev Diary, so thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.